If there ever was a contest for the best cringe trends on the internet, this would make it to the top. Imagine how important it must be to someone to always be with someone else, that the moment they go out alone for a drive or to a restaurant, they need to label it as something very brave and courageous. Welcome to the world of modern women, where anything you do or anything you can't do will need a label. And in this case, a pretty dumb one. Believe it or not, there's a new TikTok trend taking place these days. Women who can't find good men are taking themselves out in an act of self-care, all the while whining about how they can't find good men. They call it Masterdating. There are other women who strongly believe they don't need no man, and hence, they'd rather go on a date with themselves. Creating a name for a sad condition only gives you the illusion of control of that situation. Masterdating is smiling through your lonely pain. It's more like a new gen's trend to cover up antisocial behavior and the fear of meeting someone in person instead of over the internet. If masterdating is just another way of taking yourself out, then that is not a new or innovative idea. Men have been doing this since the dawn of humanity. Basically, women are doing things any regular person would do, like going on an excursion or just to get dinner, or to a football game, or even just getting ice cream. But in their constant need for validation, they're terming and labeling this as something very extraordinarily brave because they're so used to doing all of these with men that now they feel as if they're taking the next big step for humanity. Well done, ladies, we knew you could go get that ice cream all by yourselves. There is no cure for this. The more you can do yourself, the less you need others. And without interdependence, there is no relationship. This is bound to happen as a natural course of social evolution in first world countries. Eventually will happen in all countries as they strive to become an advanced society. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Dealing with a masculine woman is like dealing with a very insecure man. It's like a person who is always trying to prove a point even when she doesn't even need to. Always trying to prove themselves, and they take offense at everything. Women in their late 30s and 40s completely forgot how they acted when they had the advantage. They didn't think the men they rejected may have been a healthy long-term relationship. Chads are gone. Average Joe honored their request, and all they have is their equally lonely friends. Truth is, in its quest to free women from not being in authoritative positions, feminism has taken away the feminine qualities in women. Women now strive to inculcate masculine qualities in them so that they can compete with men at the corporate level. All of this has led to an imbalance in the dating landscape that has resulted in men going their own way and not committing to women long-term, while women are choosing their careers instead and are only realizing that they can never become like men. Because a man can live his life alone. A woman can't. It's a bitter reality. The problem with these women is they never engage in self-reflection. They never are responsible for their lives or their failures. It is always someone else's fault. They are damaged, yet their list of requirements of a man gets longer and more demanding as they age, not less. On dating profiles, they never say what they bring to a relationship that a man actually wants. On their profiles, it's always me. Me, I want, I need. They believe they are the prize. But the guy has to be taller, stronger, wealthier, better looking, more charismatic, more worldly, and a feminist. So, who has worked harder and is higher value and status? The man, obviously. The delusion is incredible. It is probably because they have been told all their lives that they are perfect princesses who can do no wrong. The common phrase used by modern women these days, "I don't need a man, but I want one," tells us that women treat relationships like shopping. They don't need a new handbag, but they want one. Same rules as shopping, including taking the item back for a refund if they are not satisfied with it, and trying many different men in the same way they try many different shoes. So, a woman's shopping habits will indicate what she is like in relationships. For them, it's the same part of their brain. It's funny how they are so lonely, yet they each have hundreds of men in real life and on social media who give them tons of attention and validation and would drop everything to be with them. They have hundreds of options. Yet, they reject all of them hoping for the dream Chad. Not to mention, when these women were young, they all had it made, and the guys their age, they all rejected. Now that the tables have been turned, they are upset that the guys their age are finally having their day in the sun. The truth of the matter is dating has always been complicated regardless of what gender you are. Everyone has their own standards for what they want in a partner, and those standards are both subjective and unique for each person. Some men and women struggle with dating. Other men and women do well. Dating will always involve risk, rewards, vulnerability, pleasure, and pain, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman. The sooner people accept the fact that it isn't easy trying to evaluate the person that you could spend your life with, the sooner you'll feel less disappointed. To be fair, it is a sliding scale in both directions. Women value confidence and stability, which are both in short supply in young men. Men value beauty, which is in short supply in middle-aged women. So men start at 0, while women start at 100. This is when they develop their bad attitudes, but then those scales start to move. By around 35, men and women are both around 50 on the scale. By 40, men are at 80 and women are at 20. By 50, men are at 100 and women are at 0. Marriage is no joke, especially now. The risks far outweigh the benefits for men, which is why you will see many men not committing to a formal long-term relationship. Marriage laws need a massive overhaul, and we need to financially disincentivize single people with massive taxes, as that's why they are a liability to society. If you have kids and stay married, you should stop paying taxes after a generation, as your kids now work and pay taxes. Modern women want it all. They want a handsome man who is dedicated to the family and is traditional, but they don't want to be traditional themselves, so that husband will stay loyal and give her the husband's life, while she doesn't have to contribute anything to the relationship and remain physically promiscuous as if she is single. That is the state of most relationships we all know these days. Remember this, guys. Anytime modern Western women talk about a man, the men they are talking about are not the average men. These women are talking about the top 5% of men who are the best looking, most successful, and the most sought after. Average men are invisible to these women, and with dating apps, they can literally pick and choose what they want, and they are all picking the same men. These men have endless options, and therefore there is no incentive to commit, especially to these women who are throwing themselves at them. Why would they buy the cow when they can get the milk for free? So all these posts about men they are talking about are the ones they wanted, but these women wouldn't commit to these women. It's like an ego response that takes women years and years to realize. You know, this may really be the best time in the history of the universe to invest in cat food businesses. With more and more men going their own way, we're seeing more and more women living the single life, way after they've passed the proverbial wall of beauty and age. But if you ask why men are not indulging in relationships anymore, it's because nobody wants to come home after a day of competing out in the world with someone who is competing with you. That is a recipe for misery. For the women who are practicing masterdating, going out alone is a completely normal thing to do. You don't need the internet to start clapping and applauding you for it. Calm down. It's okay to be alone sometimes. You don't need to broadcast to the world how you're going to a restaurant and how that makes you strong somehow. This is equality, but you want validation even for this. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.